Colorado, a state defined by its verticality and its grit. From the jagged summits of the 14,000ers to the ancient lake beds of its high deserts, life here has adapted to thin air and intense sun. The red rocks of the Front Range give way to snow-capped peaks along the Continental Divide, and beyond those peaks lies the vast, high-altitude San Luis Valley, a landscape that feels like another world entirely. This is a place where nature has written its most dramatic stories in stone, wind, and ice. Today, we explore how Colorado preserves the roof of the Rockies through a majestic mountain climber and a drought-defying superfood that is quietly changing the way the world eats. High above the tree line, where the air is thin and the wind cuts like a blade, the Rocky Mountain Bighorn sheep stands as the undisputed master of the mountains. A mature ram, carrying massive spiraled horns that can weigh as much as 30 pounds, balances effortlessly on a narrow cliff edge, a feat of biology that seems to defy logic. But these animals are far more than elite climbers. They are alpine gardeners, and the health of Colorado's high-altitude ecosystems depends on them in ways that science is only beginning to fully appreciate. Bighorns are what ecologists call selective grazers. Rather than consuming every plant in their path, they target specific grasses and shrubs, preventing any single species from dominating the landscape. This behavior is the primary reason Colorado's wildflower meadows remain so extraordinarily diverse. Without the bighorn's careful grazing patterns, aggressive plant species would crowd out the rare and delicate blooms that define the Rocky Mountain tundra. There is another layer to their contribution that often goes unnoticed. As bighorn herds move across steep terrain, their hooves till the thin mountain soil with every step. This natural aeration allows water to penetrate deeper into the ground, reaching the root systems of rare alpine plants that would otherwise struggle to survive. They are, in the truest sense, ecosystem engineers, shaping the land simply by living on it. By grazing the rugged slopes with precision, they ensure that Colorado's famous wildflowers have the space and soil they need to bloom, protecting the biodiversity of the entire Rocky Mountain chain for generations to come. Dropping down from the peaks into the San Luis Valley, the landscape shifts dramatically. Here, against the stunning backdrop of the Great Sand Dunes, rows of tall quinoa plants stretch across the fields in deep reds, purples, and golds, a living tapestry that looks almost surreal. Colorado's San Luis Valley is one of the very few places in North America where quinoa genuinely thrives, and the reason is altitude. Sitting at roughly 7,500 feet above sea level, the valley closely mimics the conditions of the Andean highlands where quinoa has been cultivated for over 5,000 years. In a state where water is often described as liquid gold, quinoa is nothing short of a miracle crop. It requires significantly less water than traditional staples like alfalfa or corn, both of which have historically dominated Colorado agriculture and placed enormous pressure on the region's underground aquifers. Quinoa's drought tolerance means farmers can produce a nutritionally complete food, one containing all 9 essential amino acids, while preserving the precious water resources that the entire state depends on. Colorado farmers growing quinoa are not simply chasing a food trend. They are participating in a genuine agricultural revolution, demonstrating that high-nutrition crops can be grown sustainably in challenging climates. This makes Colorado a quiet but powerful leader in climate-smart farming, offering a model that regions across the world are beginning to study and replicate. The connection between the Bighorn's mountain home and the quinoa fields below is not symbolic. It is hydrological and deeply real. Snowmelt from the high-altitude wilderness filters through mountain soil, flows into pristine creeks, and eventually reaches the valley farms that feed people across the country. The health of that water depends entirely on the health of the ecosystems above. When bighorn herds maintain the diversity and structure of alpine meadows, they protect the soil's ability to filter and retain water. A bighorn drinking from a clear mountain creek is not a postcard moment. It is evidence of a functioning watershed. By protecting the high-altitude wilderness, we ensure the purity of the runoff that sustains Colorado's innovative agriculture. It is a vertical circle of life, from the highest peak to the deepest valley, And every link in that chain matters. Colorado is proving that we can reach for the summits and stay grounded in the soil. By honoring the Bighorn and the Quinoa, we protect the spirit of the West and provide a sustainable path for a hungry world. A ram silhouetted against a golden sunset on a ridge and a field of colorful quinoa swaying in the valley breeze tell the same story. Resilience, adaptation, and the extraordinary potential of a landscape that refuses to be ordinary. Colorado is not just a state, it is a peak of possibility.